As you look back over the expanse of your Continental experience, what are you most grateful for? I'll give you a second. That's out of the
Oh, that's a big question. Okay, I think I want to mention two things here. Just let me tell a quick little story of the gratitude that I had, how this even started for me, because it's kind of a miraculous little story. I knew Dan Whitehead's family growing up in Iowa because my relatives lived there. We went to a concert. He needed a keyboard player for a tour that was leaving 3 weeks later to go to Poland and Scandinavia. And I, at the time, was in college and had a plan to work my way through college through the summer to help my parents pay for the coming fall. Well, long story short, my parents had said, there's no way that we can pay for this. We can't raise this kind of money that fast. Our house was burglarized, and the insurance company, everything, the amount that was stolen out of our home came to the exact amount that was needed for Dan's tour.
Wow.
In addition to that, I had, back in the day, we had that big Pioneer equipment with the big headphones and the big huge speakers and things. I had that in my bedroom. That was stolen out of my room. And that was the amount that I would have made. The things that were taken out of my room was what I would have made that summer working to go toward CSU in the fall. So it was the exact amount of money, and that's how it all started. And I was thinking about this today, like what a miraculous beginning. It seemed impossible. It seemed like, we can't do this in 3 weeks. And he makes the impossible possible. And now we're married, and we've never even toured together, by the way.
We did 2009.
After we were married.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun that we got married and we never toured together. That's probably not that common. But so that I'm so grateful just for how God got it all started for me. And then secondly, I think the highlight for me of Continentals, which includes you two, very, very wonderful, beautiful people, was the Jesus Project tours.
Yeah.
Ended up doing 3 of those. And they were so life-changing, as you know, just nothing compared. I out of everything else that I think about with Continentals, just so unbelievable. And I'm so grateful I got to share that with you two. And we had a lot of fun and lots of laughs. Just seeing those people's lives completely changed. I miss that. I miss those days of where you are really pouring into people's lives that way, and you're just seeing a difference made in their life day to day.
Yeah.
So that would be probably the thing that I'm most grateful for.
I think for me it was a couple of things. Number one, yes, I was as a director, I got to travel all over the world. We really did. It was amazing that the places that we could go, and not as a tourist, but you became immersed for the short time you were there in the culture, and that was I remember we did a tour to Poland once, and we went home to the host home, and this lady had absolutely nothing. They had nothing, but she ran me a bath, and and then the next morning she had this breakfast down there, but they had nothing. And then another one, and it was the time I met you, Jim. We were down in Venezuela, and I remember we got together for one day, and then I went to this host home, and all they had was just plastic chairs and tables. That was all it was. And it wasn't that they were, yes, there might have been poverty there, but they were just so grateful and thankful that we'd come and that we could minister to them. And then the other thing was just the lifelong friendships. We have, for me, we were back in Ireland last year because some of my best friends live in Northern Ireland, and we go back, and we haven't toured together now probably for 35 years, but we go back and it was like we're back on tour. We are just it's just everything just goes back to when it was in the days when you were on tour, and that's an amazing thing as well, that you can have that lifelong friendship. And this is going to sound really weird, you edit this, but but I remember coming to your house in Bakersfield, and this has got to be 35 years ago, and you must think this is crazy. And then I remember one day I sunbathed in your back garden because the sun was out and I was from England. And I just remember, oh, this is lovely. This is great. So Bakersfield is a big tourist spot. There we go.
How many people say that?
Well, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah.
I would actually echo. There's so many times that I'll have an overnight somewhere that I don't know
Oh, yeah.
anybody, and I'll just put a quick little thing on Facebook. You know, anybody in Memphis, anybody wherever I have an overnight, and almost always I'll get somebody reply to me, and sometimes it's somebody that I've never even met before, but it's somebody within the Continental family.
Wow.
There's also there's another flight attendant that flies with Southwest, and we became fast friends. We had never met before, but she had toured, and I had toured, and then she came to Denver one time, and we met for coffee, and 4 hours later, it was so much fun. It's such a connection, and I love that wherever I go, there is somebody in the Continental family, and we're all such a close-knit family, and that's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, and for Cam, I don't know. And I always, when we get a chance to be with him, I always say, I mean, because the influence the ministry had, which he started, I mean, even in the profession, I mean, you know, in the live musical theater profession, people are everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Have you ever wished you could gift your life-changing Continental experience to someone else? Well, you can. Your monthly giving can make a huge impact for our teams all over the world. Did you know that this year, we'll have more than 20 Continental groups on the road, communicating in 7 different languages? The Continental story goes on, so keep writing your part of it by being on our support team. And our groups will say, thank you, in 7 different languages.